I'd like to put my first question to the Director General, if I could. You might be aware of media back in March that reported a false killer whale had been captured and taken to SeaWorld for rehabilitation after beaching itself. So this is not an orca, it's a different member of the dolphin family. Last week, SeaWorld posted on its page that the animal had died. Can you advise whether Village Roadshow theme parks had applied for a licence to exhibit this false killer whale under the Exhibited Animals Act? And does the department have any information on the cause of the animal's death?
Okay.
Chair, just a point of clarity. This may be a matter that fell within the exhibited animals part of the legislation, which we dealt with in the early part of proceedings today, rather than.
Right.
I know in some cases there's confusion between fisheries and exhibited animals, but certainly it would be my view. And I'll be happy to hear your point in respect to...
No, I think that's a relevant point. It may come under the Animal Care and Management Acts. But could the Director General furnish any information that he may have on this particular matter?
Thanks, Chair. Thanks, Minister. I'll just reiterate what the Minister said. It's dealt with under the biosecurity provisions and legislation.
Is there any practical, we're talking about, surely they're mammals, but they're ocean-dwelling mammals. Is there any practical obstacle to the question being answered in this forum?
Through you, Chair, once again, there's a process where the member for Maiwar can avail himself. There's no other committee hearings on today other than this. The member for Maiwar could have been in appearance for the other part of the hearing that dealt with exhibited animals.
Minister, I was here and I took every opportunity that was available to me to ask questions. So if the inclination is to hide behind standing orders, by all means, I will ask an alternative question if I could.
Please don't engage in argument across the table there. I think you've got the answer that you're going to get for the stage here, because it clearly came under the auspice of the first part of the questions. Did you have any other further questions, Member for Maiwar?
Yes, I have, Chair. Thank you. I'll put this question to the Minister in relation to Queensland's shark control program. You'd be aware of lots of work in this space at the moment. There was the recent Cardo report reviewing non-lethal approaches to shark nets and drumlines, a Senate inquiry recommending a transition to non-lethal methods. Now, we've seen the entanglement of at least 5 whales in nets this year, yet you've confirmed that the government has no plans to remove any shark nets or drumlines, as I understand it. Minister, who made the decision not to remove shark control nets ahead of humpback whale migration season, and on what basis, given that this contradicts the recommendations of the department's own shark control program scientific working group?
I'm happy to respond broadly in regards to the question, and that there is work being done, and I apologise that the member wasn't present when we answered a response to the good work that's being done in respect to surveillance, drone technology, more than $6 million put into further enhancement of further 4 beaches in regards to using drone technology, the consideration of looking at zones to also provide for coverage in regards to measures of assisting people to safely bathe or do water activities in those areas. But we need to work with those councils around barriers and those sorts of things.
Point of order, Chair. 1 moment, please, Minister.
I'm mindful that time is very short. On relevance, the question, I did hear the answers before around remote drone monitoring. The question specifically is who made the decision not to remove the shark nets ahead of humpback whale migration season, and on what basis, given that this is contradicted by the government's own shark control scientific working group?
Not sure how you're going to answer that one, Minister, but I invite you to continue on with the answer you are providing towards that.
In my view, there's been no significant changes to the program. The program, as we've been upfront all along since 1962, is the initial policy and position is to protect human life. That is paramount in terms of what we do as a government in terms of making sure our waters are free from shark attacks. No doubt there's a continued expansion of whales up and down the coastline as a result of migration. That's why we're looking at drone technology. We're expanding the program. We're looking at other alternatives through technology. There's a whole host of technologies out there available. We'll continue investing in those, as we have in this budget, to look at those technologies that are new and exciting, to make sure that people are protected, but also marine life is protected as well. And that's why we've got a catch and release program for those areas that we're trialling, and a very successful program in catching and releasing those three sharks, whether it be bull sharks, white sharks or tiger sharks, in those locations where the catch and release lines are in place.
Just a very, very quick follow-up, if I might, Chair. Can I take from your answer, Minister, your assertion is that the risk of shark bite would increase if Queensland's shark nets and drum lines were removed? Is that your assertion?
Well, I think there's an implication there. I know that the member from Envoy, you're asking about our program there, but I didn't hear what the minister was travelling down that way.
That's why I'm seeking clarification, Chair.
I think it's a bit argumentative, but I don't know how the minister can answer that one there, unless the minister, wants to re-establish that question.
We should support the shark control program, as we have done since 1962.
But the question, as I put it, was: is it your assertion that the risk of shark bite would increase in Queensland if Queensland shark nets and drumlines were removed?
Well, Chair, that's a hypothetical, really.
It's absolutely not a hypothetical. It's a question about assertions implicit in your answer.
Yeah, member, I think that it's member. I understand where you're going, but it is hypothetical and argumentative as well. So you're not going to rule that one out. I'm going to rule that the minister has answered that as the way he can. Okay.